What's up, everybody? Stackingsurfer here, and I'm here with Ted Speaks. This way. I got to figure out the camera thing.
Hello. We're back. Come on, light up the board, guys. Get the word out. We got a lot of stuff to share today.
We are back, guys. So right now we've got 33 people on here. What I want to do is have each of you guys hit that thumbs up so the algorithm wakes up. And then if you've got a couple friends that are stackers, please do share this with them. As well as hit your social media. We've got to get this message out, guys. So,
anybody here holding crypto, get them to tune in too.
Yeah, the crypto guys too, because you guys look, everybody's got to hear the message and then they get to decide on their own whether they're going to follow it or not. Okay. We're just sharing the message. We're not giving financial advice officially because we're not financial planners anymore, but we have the knowledge of a financial planner. And I'm not a financial advisor because I fired everyone I've ever had because it didn't do me any good. They just cost me a lot of money. And I've been figuring out stuff on my own. And so a lot of what we're going to talk about today is sharing some history with you guys about what happened with banks and silver. We're going to be talking about the bank term funding program. So we'll hit that as well. And then we're going to be talking about why silver, not gold and Bitcoin. Okay. That doesn't mean that you don't own any of that stuff. Okay. We're going to address that. But we see a big play here in silver, and that's part of what Ted's going to be talking about to us today too.
Plays are going to last very long. Listen to Jared.
And then we're gonna talk about how to prepare. What can we do? And what I want to start off with is Ted. I want to start off with sharing some information with everybody on where what's happened with. Well, let me back up. Our last conversation we talked about. One of the things we hit pretty heavily was this idea of monster boxes and type 1 eagles. So I wanted to just follow up on that a little bit on, not necessarily the conspiracy theory part of it, but more or less the importance of looking at, type 1 eagles. What does it mean? What's the supply look like? How does that look? And I wanted to show people a few things on the web on what's happened to the supply since we had our conversation on Sunday.
Well, first, let me explain that this is a very thinly traded market, meaning that there isn't a whole lot of silver out there to be had. Okay. So we came on as Ted Speaks back in March 1st. So this is 11, 12 days of us doing this, and not every day. But in the period of time that we've been on, we've enlightened people to the fact that the type 1 eagles do not have a missing reed around the outside, and it's edge. And we believe, and there's strong evidence to support it, that there may be some type of tracking mechanism that Honeywell has been able to design and put it in there. Now, they've done the same thing with regards to cigarette packages, not the cartons and not the case that the cartons come in. The individual packs of cigarettes, Honeywell has designed a tracking chip so they know exactly where that particular pack of cigarettes is. And then there's a video that's out. Did you find it? Can we put it up? If not, I will find it and I'll put it up on Ted Speaks.
If you can find it for us, it'd be good.
I will find it again. Okay. But the guy from Honeywell is bragging about, we'll know where every pack of cigarettes is. Well, if they know where every pack of cigarettes is, do you think a pack of cigarettes is more important or less important than an American Silver Eagle? I think it's less important. First of all, it's not permanent, right? It's going to burn up, the cigarettes will. Okay. The silver's been around actually, silver was used as money in 3000 BC. And it stopped being used as money in 1873. So the way I do the math here, wouldn't you take 3,000 and add that to 1,873? And wouldn't that be 4,873 years of history of silver being money? And all of a sudden you're going to tell me, no, last 150 years doesn't mean anything the last 4,800 years. Folks, history's got to be on your side, okay? As Winston Churchill once said, the more clearly the further you look in the rear view mirror, the more clearly you can see the future. So the reason why a rear view mirror is so much smaller than the windshield is to remind you of where you've been, not to concentrate on it, but just to remind you metaphorically of where you've been, but look towards the future. Okay. So what does the future say about gold? Great things. Isn't gold and silver mentioned in the Bible? You spoke on Sunday. You were a pastor in Sunday, right? Isn't gold and silver mentioned in the Bible over 600 times?
Yep.
Didn't Judas get paid 30 pieces of silver to drop the dime on Jesus? Well, Jesus was born, around 0 AD 1D, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if silver was used as money before he was born, 3000 BC, and we're currently in 1000. It was used as silver until 1873. Then aren't we looking at a 4,800 year history of silver being money? What's the history of paper being money? First of all, paper isn't money. It's not durable. Paper, they constantly have to reprint the units, right? So what I wanted to talk about a little bit is how in the world did the bank steal your money? So what we did today, we did a skit. A friend of mine came over and he had to carry a monster box and 1,000 face of junk all the way up the walkway. I wanted him to be sweating out of breath. It's 100 pounds, okay? So he gets to the door and he's trying to knock on the door, and he bangs it with his elbow because he has to open the door. Let somebody know he's at the door. Open doors. Well, come on in. Wow, looks like you've traveled a long way here, weary traveler. What can I help you with? So he makes his way down to the office, and I says, "What brings you in?" He says, "I've traveled many nights. 6 months I've been on travel." I said, "Oh, you didn't get chased down by any robber barons, did you?" It's because you can't ride a horse very fast with 100 pounds of silver on you, can you?
No, you cannot. No.
So that's when the banks came out and they said, "Hey, we'll give you some paper that will represent that." So they gave him some paper units, okay, for the silver that he deposited, much like these here, okay. These are all these are perfect units here, right? Okay, interesting. So if this unit was used to buy some silver, why am I holding it? Why am I holding this? And why wasn't the owner of this holding the silver? I would like to have the silver for every one of these that I have because somebody lost it on that account. Does this make sense to you? Okay, so somebody comes in 100 pounds of silver and they say, "I need to turn it into a safe place to keep it." Okay. And Mr. Banker says, "Yeah, give it to us. We'll give you some paper for it." Oh, great. That sounds good. Not as heavy. Whew, this wealth is really burdensome. Come on.
So Ted, I want to ask people real quick. How many of you are in the chat right now? Put a 1 in if you have any silver. Okay. Put a 2 in if you have no silver. I'm just curious to see how many of you guys have silver, how many do not have it.
I won't skew your results. I'll stay out of the study.
I'm gonna throw in a bunch of 1s in there.
Right.
You want to see that because and you guys have some good questions coming up. We're going to hit those today too. I see Azure Blue's got a couple questions we'll definitely hit.
Can I put this up for just a second?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the etymology of the word that people are using for money?
We got the numbers coming in here.
Okay.
Okay.
So dollar, actually, the original word is thaler. It's a German word. And look it up. It means silver. Shekel means silver. Drachma means silver. Lira means pound or weight. Something mass. That's solid. Not something that's a blip on a computer screen. Dinar, silver. Denar, silver. What do we got? Dong. That's something real. Bronze and copper is real. But let's take a look at the euro. That's a special currency there. That was invented in 1996. Huh. Hold on to that, right? So the Korean fun is the translation of that is silver. German mark is a weight of precious metal. Here we go, folks. You can read this as fast as I can put it up. Okay. So money is in fact silver, and money's been silver for over 4,800 years. There's no arguing with that. You can't argue with history. All I'm saying is, why don't we become a student of history? Because history repeats. We go through these sections, these periods of time. The bankers take your silver. They give you their fake currency in exchange for that, right? This stuff winds up either in a trash can used to heat the house for a couple of minutes, or it winds up in a collector's hands like me saying, "Hey, why don't we use this to explain Austrian monetary economics versus Keynesian economics?" This is Keynesian, folks. It's paper. It's nothing, okay? It's only what it is you believe in. Do you believe? I don't. All right, where do we go from here?
Okay, so as we talk about that, I think it is a very interesting thing to look at. Right now I can't. Well, I can. I can take. Let me show you guys some examples here. I can take this silver, right? I can take this quarter, a 1934 quarter right here. Okay, I can take this down to my bank. And Ted, how much money will they give me on the ledger if I take this silver quarter down?
Well, they won't give you any money. They'll give you a digital fiat currency implemented.
This is the money, right? This is the money.
That is the money. What is in the year on that? 19 what?
34.
1934. Were you alive in 1934?
Not that I can recall.
I wasn't alive in 1934. Who might have been alive in 1934? How about our fathers?
Yeah, my
Okay.
grandfather was.
All right. Is it possible that that quarter served as a medium exchange to help build our country?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look how worn it is.
And then we've
Golly
got
days, folks. It's
I got a few
beautiful.
more to show you guys. Here's a 54.
Look at that. I was born in 1958,
And then
but
we've
I came
got
across a 1919 the other day.
1960.
Look at that. See, this is money, folks. It's silver. They took the silver out of our money in 1965. This is the silver in the money that you have here. This is worth money. The stuff that is the zinc clad or whatever, that's not worth anything. So you have to have the money. And the money is the gold and the silver. The currency, when it's redeemable for the money, is in fact currency. When you can no longer redeem it, as we can't now, then the unredeemable currency becomes fiat. And if you get tired of printing it, you can create digital fiat currency. It won't cost you a nickel. Just sort of electron blips. All these negative signs run all over the place, right? And that electron, yeah. So anyway, what we're trying to do is wake people up. So we started talking about these Type 1 American Silver Eagles being, in my estimation, the most pristine. They are the world's most widely recognized sovereign 1 ounce pure silver coin. Okay, it represents money. The American Silver Eagle is the world's most widely known widely known 1 ounce sovereign coin. Okay, that's 1 ounce and is pure. All right. Now, in 2021, after 10 years of working on the technology, they found a way to be able to keep track of these chips or keep track of these eagles, much like they keep track of packs of cigarettes through Honeywell. Okay. They want to know where these eagles are. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want them to know where my eagles are, and I don't want them to know where your eagles are. You don't know what you don't know. You don't have no idea how valuable this is going to be. I didn't believe it, and that's why I went 11 and a half years studying Austrian monetary economics. I know this stuff like the back of my hand now. And I don't know why other people need to know the truth. Your issue here's a stock that has no identification on it. Each one of these eagles is real. Now, 2021, if that might have been like the first run of 2021, because I do not see a missing read. Yep. I'm sorry.
So this is the first half. This is the Type 1s that came out in 2021. This is the last time you could grab those.
Folks, aren't they beautiful? Wouldn't you rather be having this in digits? And if you're holding this, can anybody take it away from you as easily as they can take the digits? And how long have the digits been money? Can anybody tell me that? No, you can't tell me that. Has it been longer than 3,000 years? BC? 1,871 years in the United States? We were on a silver standard because silver gave the power to the people. In 1871, though, they said, "Oh, we don't want the middle class and the low class to have the power. We're going to move it up to the wealthy." So they gradually moved silver from being money to not being money, and they did that by forming what's called a bimetal standard. We were on a gold and a silver standard for a period of time until they completely removed silver as part of the monetary program. So then we went on gold. Then what happened in August of 71? Nixon took us off the gold standard. So ever since then, since 1971, we've been on a hope and a prayer, haven't we? Because nothing's been underpaying the currency. And the BRICS realized this. And now SWIFT is in trouble. The society. This is a load that we took out of one of the coin stores that we go to. This was about 40 monsters that we loaded up in a truck. This guy gets it. He understands that the digits in a computer screen are not real. But I tell you, you load that up, that truck was riding crazy going down the road because that was, it was almost 2,000 pounds. Okay. And we had all kinds of trash and stuff, as you see, because of the builder. And we put that over top of it, closed it up, and then we drove it in his house. He only told his wife he was getting 20. I said, "We're not walking in here. How much you got in the checking account?" 1.2 million. I said, "Barry, there is no way we're leaving here with 20. We're going 40. And he said, "Ted, I only got permission to do 20. I said, "Barry, you can't let that kind of money sit in the bank. This is what's happening." He said, "Okay, fine." He said, "But you can't tell her." So my wife and I, Margaret Ann, who you met a little bit, and he and his wife, we had a chain, like a wagon or a bucket brigade. We got all 40 in downstairs, stacked up, then put an empty refrigerator box over top of it, taped it shut, and that's the end of it. And that's where they've been.
That's a lot. I want to stop you just for a second, Ted. So we had mostly everybody hit a 1. So we've got a lot of people in here that do have silver today. So
we were backing up the truck this day.
Yeah. I'm curious, you guys, has anybody ever had this much silver in the back of their truck? I mean, that's a lot of monster boxes there. I'm
Keep
guessing no
going.
one has had that, but I think it looks amazing. So we
It's
got a couple
beautiful.
questions coming in
They'll be
around.
in that family for decades, for generations. My roommate in college is a very, very conservative guy. And I can tell you that those monster box will be around until Jesus comes back.
Okay, so we got that. So can I ask you a question from the audience?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a question that I think is a valid one. Some of the people in here may have purchased silver at some of the high points it's been out, where it's higher than what we have it at today.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone in that situation?
Let me ask you a question. What do you call somebody that always sells at the top and always buys at the bottom?
Human.
A liar.
A
Nobody
liar.
buys at the top and sells at the bottom. They're a liar. Come on, man.
I was thinking the other way around. The other way around is human nature, right? Buy at the top, sell at the bottom.
I understand your pain. All right, first, let me address that. I understand your pain because daggone it, I haven't been at it since 1980 like you have, okay? But I've been at it since 2012, and I don't want to tell you how much I get into that. That's not important to the conversation. But I can tell you that my break even is above 49, is lower, much lower, or a little bit lower than 49, 45. It's around 38. 38, and I'm comfortable. I'm fine with this. See, the thing is this, all right? Look, guys, if you're in the stock market, you got to be right every day, right? If you're wrong one day and the market crashes, guess what? You're done, aren't you? I only have to be right one time, and all my dreams come through. In the meantime, I'm holding the money of our country, and I'm holding money that's defined as money. I'm holding immutable wealth. It can't be taken away. It can never be watered down. Those coins are as they are. They're 90% silver. That's what you need to hold. There's no promises that can be broken here. Again, at this point in time, the only two things I think you be trusting is God and the periodic table. These silver eagles are on the periodic table. They're 3 nines pure. They're the money of America. If you're in Canada, get the maple leaves. If you're in the other countries, and thank goodness we're hearing from Japan, Norway, Australia. There's a really cool guy in Australia. I've hooked up with him. He's fun. His first name is John. Jonn is his first name. Really neat guy. But we're getting comments all around the world because this kind of truth has never been spoken before. And now I know why. I was set to do a interview with a very large podcaster in town here. And he scheduled it, canceled it. Last time we're on our way, about a 45-minute ride. We call him on the way down. So we're on our way. And he says, we changed our mind. We don't want you on the station anymore. Why is that? Have you ever had an Austrian monetary economist on your show? Do you even know what kind of questions to ask a guy like me, as opposed to somebody that embraces Keynesian economics? I think what would happen is the whole channel would blow up because they're going to realize that there are two schools of thought and Keynesian doesn't have complete control anymore. I mean, there really is a problem with stock certificates that don't have a CUSIP number on it. There really is a problem with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why the government came out with the CUSIP program. And the CUSIP program, if we can find that, is designed to provide a unique identifier for assets. Because if you don't hold it, you don't own it. If you hold it, you own it. But here's this report. Folks, please download this report or reach out to my office. Our staff here will take care of it. Or Jared, maybe you can provide this to your people. Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. Yep.
Great. Okay. The
So
CUSIP number is very, very important.
Yeah, anybody wants a copy of that, I'll work on getting that put up to onto a link below. And then if you guys also want it, you can send an email to stackingsurfer@gmail.com.
Quickly,
CUSIP
is an acronym for the Committee on Uniform Security Identification Procedures. Oversees the entire CUSIP system, just like the stock symbols assigned to shares of publicly traded company. A CUSIP number is a unique. I didn't make this stuff up. Look, can you put this up here? Look, right there. What does that say?
Identifier.
Unique identifier.
Yep.
Come on. Yeah, I'm being truthful with you guys. Come on, it's all here. Okay. When I told you don't let anybody hold your silver because there's provenance to it. Guess what? That's real too. Because if that vault is holding unencumbered wealth, 300 million, whatever it turns out to be, and you're the owner of that vault, there's a thing in the law that says possession is 9/10 of the law. So 9/10 of the time, I can use all that's inside that depository that you sent your bars to, okay? as collateral to go ahead and take out a loan. Now, because we're underneath the Dodd-Frank rules, I can take out another loan on top of that loan called a derivative. And then I can take out another loan on top of that loan, and that's called a synthetic derivative. Okay? So a derivative, first of all, I explain what a bet is. You know, Jared and I are going to bet $100. But Jared has a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends. Our friends are going to bet each other. They're the derivative of the bet that Jared and I have. Do you follow me?
Yep.
Now, because Jared has friends that has friends, and I have friends that have friends, those guys get together and, man, from the results that you guys put up on the board, Jared has a whole lot of friends. So you guys nailed him with over 28,000 views. Congratulations. Thanks for getting the word out. So anyway, the friends of Jared's friends, okay, decide to bet the friends of my friends, okay, third removed from the bet itself, who's going to win. They have a bet themselves. And these guys, they're money managers. They bet $1 gazillion. Now, the amount that they bet happens to be more than's in the M2 money supply. So now they say, well, okay, how do we get paid? Well, hey, Jim, Dodd, Frank, hey, I got a great idea. Why don't you pass this legislation? We call it the Dodd-Frank legislation, okay? We'll say it's to help the people, all right? And what we'll do, though, is we're going to repeal the Glass-Steagall Act, and we're going to make sure that everybody can get their fair piece of the pie, you know? Like that Keynesian pie that'll feed the whole world, you just got to cut the slices a little bit.
Oh, we got a little background noise there. I think that's coming on your end.
Oh, she was putting some papers over got my microphone.
Oh, yep, there you go. So when did all that go? So real quick, as starting off, we're talking about the banks, how they took silver, right? We showed some silver quarters here. This used to be real silver. If I took this into a bank, they would exchange this for digits in a ledger, right? And I would basically get 25 cents today, even though this quarter is worth a lot more because it's silver, 90%.
Okay, so you took that into the bank. They credit you with 0.25% of a dollar, right?
Yes.
What happens to the quarter at that point?
I will tell you where I think it's going right now.
Okay,
I think it's going into the teller's pockets, a lot of it, or into other collectors. But I go to all my banks and I ask, do you have any older quarters? Do you have any older half dollars? They don't have them. There's
an economic law that we're talking about here, folks. It's called Gresham's Law, capital Greshams. Gresham's Law. Gresham's Law said that bad money chases good money out of circulation. So you come across with a bad money, which doesn't have any silver in it at all, okay? And you take out the quarter that was in that little round thing that you plugged in the blue books, okay? You take that out, and that goes in deep storage in your back pocket, okay? So Gresham's Law says that bad money comes in and replaces the good money and removes the good money from circulation. And guess what has happened to Type 1 American Silver Eagles, folks? They're gone.
Let's take a look.
They're gone.
I'm going to show you guys what's happened. Or at least what I
told you, it's a thinly traded market.
Here. All right. So we're going to bring this up right
here.
Snooze,
you lose.
Can you guys see this okay?
I can. Those Type 2s you're showing there.
All right. Here's Monument Metals, okay? No monster boxes available that I could find on their site. I didn't spend forever looking. There could be some Type 2s on there. But I'm having a hard time finding Type 1s.
That's right. That's right.
I couldn't really find them. So, all right, guys.
What's the name of that rule that forced the Type 1s out of existence?
Here's 36 Gresham's
Law. That's right.
So here's $36.62 for an Eagle. But they don't have them in sealed monster boxes. So
hang on there. That would go back up. So $36.62 per Eagle is $18,310 per box. Okay.
Yep.
That's on the high side. We still have a source for Type 1 monsters left right now at 16.5. Okay. And I think you have a source for monsters on 16 what?
I think we're right around the same price.
Okay. And I think you have a line on 20 or so. And the place that I go to, they had 50. Now they're down to like 32. Okay?
So I found about 20 of them. If anybody has interest, send me an email. I can connect you with the dealer that has that. But I'm going to take you down the line here. I went to Bullion Max, and they don't have them either.
But look at the prices. Go back up. Look at the prices. The prices are much less. If you want to buy a tracking chip and know where, for someone else to know where it is, you can buy one of those things that people don't know. I think they should say this has tracking technology impregnated in each eagle. Why not be honest with the public? What's wrong with that?
I don't think they're going to tell you if there's a tracking chip in there.
I'm telling you then, and guess what? I'm getting in trouble. People don't want me on their station, their channel, whatever you call it. And if you find a channel talking about stocks, they don't want me on their channel either, because there is no unique identifier with a stock certificate. They took that away too.
They did. So I used to, my family's a banking family. We had our stock certificates in a book. We had them all in a safe, and they all had the unique identifiers on them and everything. And we turned them all into our broker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then the company folded, but that's a story for another day. But I do want to show you guys, look at Hero here, unavailable. They don't have any more of them.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the out of stock. I'm looking, I'm saying, wow, 14,369. That can't be right. I missed the out of stock underneath of it. I'm sorry.
And then I go to Provident, and it says you can create an in-stock alert because they don't exist there.
That's a prudent way to buy.
Let's see. AppMex, I didn't find
No,
any.
hold it. That's 2024. So that's going to be a type 1. Okay.
Type 2.
Type 2. I'm sorry. Type 2.
I went to JM Bullion, out of stock.
Yes.
So I think you broke the internet, is what I think.
Well, go to Golden Eagle Coin if you don't mind. That's
Okay.
a real easy one. And you can see just how easy this daggone website is to use. Golden Eagle Coin. Okay. Go ahead and pull that up. And then click on silver there on top next to the gold. Go down. There you go. Go down. Go down. Go down. Okay. Well, okay. Then click on the eagle there. There you go. Then click on the green monster box. Okay. And scroll up. Okay. So he has the type 2s for 14,885. They're a lot cheaper. Okay. Keep scrolling up a little bit. Okay. Keep going. Out of stock on that one. Okay. Here's one. He has 2 left. It's, oh my gosh. Wow. 17,110. I locked in a bunch of these at 16.5. If you want any of them, there's a guy that asked me to lock them in, and I let them go. But they're still there. So I talked to Bob, the owner of this place, and apparently he's still going to let them go at 16.5 if you're interested. But reach out to me, because I would have to reserve them for you. But you would buy these directly from Golden Eagle Coin. But this is the end of the type 1s. I don't know.
So here's what I'm finding out there for everybody. So first off, look, we're going to talk about this in the show today. Okay. So type 1 Eagles aren't the only kind of silver that you can own that's going to be beneficial for you. We're going to talk about a couple different kinds you can own too. And by the way, it's better to have silver than it is to not have any precious metals. Okay. So,
and even if you bought bars or rounds or something generic, as long as it's silver, stick with it. You made a decision, stick with it. It's good, better, and best. Don't go trading it in. Don't go losing any ounces at this point. Okay. So
exactly. So if you've got kilos sitting around or 10-ounce bars, I would not go and take a loss. Don't take a 20% haircut or a 30% haircut trying to sell that at your LCS and then trying to move into Eagles. And you know what Ted's talking about is, Ted, we'll have to get a link to the information you have on the tracking stuff. But even outside of that, there's ways to do with that.
I will provide that link and send it to you within 30 minutes after we finish the conversation today.
Okay.
And it will be a video, and you can listen to the pompous son of a gun brag about how they've come up with this technology to be able to track a pack of cigarettes. I was inflamed when I heard that.
So there's
America. We're supposed to be free.
There is, but there's a lot of tracking stuff. I mean, I've studied in school. There's a technology called RFID tags.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that you're able to track certain packages. It's also akin to those little circles on packages that go off when you hit the
theft deterrent things.
Yeah. When you go through a door at a store.
I haven't done that before.
There's different kinds of things like that. So if you guys are concerned about any of that, or you want to look into it more, we'll have some more information on it. As far as, what we don't believe there's anything in a type 1. Is it in type 2? That's for you guys to kind of go do some research and figure out. Ted believes it's in there. So we're putting that out for you guys. But there are things that you can deal with. So type 1, one of the reasons I love them is I think they look better. I like the reverse on it better than a type 2. And I also like things that are a little bit older that have some history to them. You're not going to get any more type 1s made out there.
No,
so the only way you're going to buy it is if someone's selling you their type 1s.
But they sure are making dollar bills to beat the band right now, aren't they?
They totally are. So for me, if there's a chance that there's a tracking device in a type 2, okay, and I can get some history. I can get something that they're not making anymore, and I can get it for a pretty good price. That's the stuff that I look at
That's
and
smart.
say, hey,
That's
this is
real
moving
smart.
me in that direction.
Yep.
So let's move into another question on that real quick. And we'll come back to some of the silver stuff, but we were already hitting what are some of the things that that you can do outside of a Type 1 Eagle. What are some of the other kinds of silver that you like?
My second choice would be pre-65 dimes. They actually are a tad cheaper than American Silver Eagles, and they do not have a tracking chip, and they fractionalize your purchase. See, the thing is with the 1964 or earlier dime, 14 of those will make 1 ounce, one true ounce. Okay, so it allows you 14 transactions that you could typically get out only one with a 1 ounce American Silver Eagle. So my hierarchy would be Type 1 American Silver Eagles, dimes, then quarters, then half dollars, and silver dollars. Okay. Then what I would do is I would move back to the Eagles, the Type 2s, but I would be careful how you handle them. I would be very, very careful in terms of lots of precaution. Make sure that there's some type of metal wrapping or some just to be just. I think it's true. I'm getting a lot of flack. I'm being called a conspiracy theorist. Oh, it isn't in there, Ted. Yeah, sure. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. You know better than me. How old are you? 28. Oh, good. Okay, fine. Whatever, folks. You know the facts. You know the. Do you think I'm kidding you?
No, I don't. I don't.
All right.
I just want people. Here's the deal. One of the things that we can do on the show here is we can give information to people. We can't convince anybody of anything. I can't convince you to join a certain religion, guys. I got to do any of that kind of stuff. All I can do is provide information to you and have you make those decisions on your own.
Much like you can lead a horse to water, but you certainly can't make a drink, and you can't push
exactly. Or if you do, then someone's going to freak out and just sell stuff at the first sight of a downturn, right?
That's one of the reasons we started TED Speaks. Because let me ask you a question: do you think you make more money by telling the truth, or do you think make more money by telling a lie?
You make more money by telling the truth every time.
In the long run.
In the long run, yes.
Yeah, right. But what I'm seeing out there are older couples that they're being sold stuff and they don't even know what they're buying, and there's a team that's moving their money away from it. Folks, you need to hold it yourself. I have been on the phone since about 2:30 this morning. I spoke with a lady. She said, I have insomnia. And I'm well, okay, great. Maybe we can chat. So we did. Spoke with Elaine there for about an hour or so. I forget the name of the country, the town that she's in. But the thing is that there's a lot of confusion out there. And what surprises me a lot is that people are more concerned about the 35% tax liability or 40% tax liability than the 65 or 60% of the actual money that could belong to you unencumbered. So I guess you have to ask yourself this question: is 65% of something better than 100% of nothing? And do you think income tax rates are going to go up, go down, or stay the same? If you think they're going to go up, then wouldn't you want to pay the taxes now? Take dominion over what it is that's yours. Build a bed like we did in the back of the pickup truck there. Stack these things 3 high, might get you about 1.5 feet up off the ground. Or if you can make it 4 high, do that and put some bands around it. Put a couple of mattresses over top of it. I would sleep the best over something like that, as long as they're not Type 2s.
Oh goodness. Well,
okay.
Here's the deal.
Into the bars and the rounds and silver. Yeah. It's certainly better than holding the paper currency. But again, the bars have no fungibility, because by law, at least in the state of Maryland and Carroll County and Baltimore County, whoever buys that bar from you, the person who has the bar, that's got to sit in their safe for 8 to 14 days. And they're going to pay you, and you're going to leave. That the bar's stolen, you left with their money. So what percentage of the $24,000 is gold? The paper price of silver is currently 24 an ounce, and you can buy a 1,000-ounce bar as close to spot as possible. So you're looking at $24,500 roughly for a bar. Man, that would get you almost 1.5 monsters of fungible metal. So why go with a bar that you're not dealing in that realm? Okay, if you're a commercial banker and you're offsetting accounts, I could see having that. Now look. If you have it, okay, see if you can swap it for Eagles, but I doubt you're going to be able to get a real good deal on it. If you have gold, if you're holding gold, you should be able to get about 80 to 85 American Silver Eagles for each 1 ounce of gold. Now, as this ratio becomes more normalized, okay, And what I'm hoping for is 1-to-1 through through irrational exuberance. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm watching this every day. When this pops, I'm putting a lock on, I think, for our group of around 50 type 1 American gold eagles. We're going to swap the sealed silver eagle boxes for sealed gold eagle boxes 1-to-1. And as soon as that hits 1-to-1, I got the phone calls. They're on the bulk. We're going to make the swap. So basically, if you follow along with the program, you'll wind up with 80 units of silver for each 1 unit of gold that you have. And then it goes 1-to-1. You'll wind up with 80 units of gold for each 1 unit of silver. You follow me?
Yep.
So, that's what I'm doing. It's sort of become a hobby. I know this is the way it's going to go. We all know it's going to go. That's in our study group. So the thing is, if you plug into us, plug into Jarrett, plug into Ted Speaks Truth on YouTube. I hope you don't mind me giving this information out.
No, go for it. And Mods, you could put the links in as well. And if you guys have not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe. And I'll do a quick plug, Ted, real quick for thumbs up. We only have 109. Last time we got up to 600 thumbs up, and I gave away a killer silver coin. I've got more silver here to give away if we can get the thumbs up.
How many people are watching right now?
Right now we have 273 people watching.
Okay. Hey guys, the 273 that are out there, would you do Ted a personal favor? Hit that thumbs up button. It helps us. It helps get the word out. You got the information. You're lucky. You're here. You found it. Okay. If you hit the thumbs up button, it'll help other people to find it too. So those people that are interested in silver and what's going on, it'll rise up higher in terms of the types of other information that they're taking in, so they can learn what it is you're learning right now. So if you think the information I'm giving out to you is valuable, if you would please hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, just as a favor to me. I'm not going to, just.
So here's the question I want everybody to type in the chat. How many likes do you think we need to get in order for a silver giveaway today?
1,000.
Ted's saying 1,000. I want to see what your guys' answer are. I want to see what you guys put in there. So throw a number in there for us. So 2. Nice. Cut
the guys some slack. I mean,
we're going to be like, we hit it.
Yeah.
So
the way this came about, I called him about 3 hours ago and said, we have something really important to talk about. So
I didn't even get to shave yet, Ted. I haven't shaved yet today. So it was like, when I said emergency, it is an emergency, guys. Yeah. So we want to get this message out there. And why is it timely? Okay, look, none of us know exactly the minute or the hour everything's going to break, but everything is on a knife's edge right now. Okay. You've got banks are in trouble. They have a lot of issues going on right now. The Fed's doing everything it can to kind of shore things up, but there's going to be a time where that does not happen and it falls down. Same thing happened different thing happened in 2008, but kind of the same type of a scenario where you can't see it exactly coming and then it snaps. And there's a lot of things that are out there right now that could be an issue for us. And so, I think what we wanted to do today is bring to you guys this information and knowledge about silver. Used to be able to go take a quarter like this, a 90% silver quarter, 1934. I could take this into the bank and give them my money like this. And then I could go back and get a quarter out that was still 90% silver, because before 1964 and earlier, they were always silver.
That's
so
right,
anytime you went to change from the bank, you were getting your money back and forth.
That's right.
And now that they've killed that with some alloys at a fraction of the cost, if you put your silver in, you're not going to get your silver back out. It's gone. It's just totally gone. And so we've talked about monster box type 1s. They're hard to find right now. If you have a desire to get some of them, now's probably a time to be considering it. There's
about 35 left at 16.5. You can do the math. We're waiting on a wire to come in for about 830,000. It'll take all the rest of them, but until that comes in, they're open to somebody else, because that's sort of on the fence right now. So
I've looked around. I've called a couple of my dealers that I know, and a lot of them can't get it right now. So
what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Is Ted right or is Ted wrong?
Super high for it right now. Supply and demand, right? It's super high.
Exactly.
So if you can't get your hands on type 1s, let's say all the monster boxes are gone. Ted's been talking about this constitutional silver. Some of you guys will call it junk, and I will call it two different things. If you have a really worn quarter, it starts to kind of get into that junky fill. But a lot of these quarters in a lot of places you can go to, you can get a pretty nice looking quarter. This is constitutional silver to me. I'll
Also,
let you
think
go
about the
first.
history here. Think about how this money was actually helped to build our country. We had sound money at the time. You're going to drop that on a hard surface, you'd hear the sound money, as we talked about once before. But once they corrupted the money, our government got corrupted, our food supply got corrupted, our legal system got corrupted, our money supply, the interest rates got corrupted. And now what's happening is we've corrupted the money supply so bad that we have pulled demand from 5 years in from the 5 years from the future into today. So basically what's happened is we have consumed all the demand today. So we've already seen the metrics today. And that's why you're seeing the stock market at records highs today. The stock market is at a record high. Why wouldn't you sell high, okay, and buy low? This is another order we put together here. This was a couple. See all those bags here? See the two carts? The one cart has what, about 9 monsters on top of it? There's 3, 6, 9. Yeah, 9 there. Okay. And then underneath we have probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000-ounce bags of junk. And then take a look at the other one. The other one probably has 16 bags of junk in it. So these are people that understand that wealth is not digits on a computer screen. This was loaded up in a pickup truck, and I helped load it up in a pickup truck. I would not go to their home. I'm not going to do that. I don't know I don't want to know where they helped, where they put it. I needed to be there to vouch. I need to make sure that that the funds are going to be good, because in the event that a wire doesn't go through or something else, I'm the one that's responsible. So far, I've stood behind everybody. I haven't had a problem. But as a result, when we call in the Golden Eagle, I typically get about $150, $200 left. We shouldn't say that. Don't repeat that, okay? Because Bob would get upset. Anyway, Golden Eagle would. They'll probably hear this anyway. Golly days, you get me in trouble here, Jared. I can't tell the truth all the time, can I?
Ted's telling too much truth again.
Tell the truth all the time or don't tell the truth. I'm telling the truth all the time. So at any rate, the bottom line here is that the banks have stolen your money because they act as your repository. It's too heavy to carry around. You're burdened with what? That's actually a saying over in England. If you have a lot of wealth, you're burdened with wealth. Oh, you don't want to be one of them. No, you'd be burdened with wealth. Okay.
It probably has to do with real wealth, being real money, being heavy. So
yes, exactly right. I told you I'm gonna drop a truth bomb on everybody's station from here on out. You have me on your station, I'm gonna drop truth bomb. Take a look at your deed and see if you see the word land in your deed.
All right, guys. So take a look at, if you have a deed, go look at your deed, see if it has land on it anywhere.
You won't. There's only 3 ways to own land in the United States: a land grant, a perfected title, and an allotted title. A land grant, a perfected deed, and a allotted deed. They're the only 3 ways to own land in the United States. Check it out. Anyway, let's get off of that. That will be in estate planning. See, after we get done with the reset and after the silver is the manipulation's over and the bad guys have been taken out and thrown in jail, they better be thrown in jail this time. Did you hear about what happened with JP Morgan? They got found guilty and were found $985 million. Okay. But the Justice Department says, don't do it again. And as long as you promise, we'll do what's called a DPA. How many of you have ever gotten a DPA? You know what one is? A deferred prosecutorial agreement. Okay. So, Jared, next time you have a speeding ticket, ask them you want to be treated in a single tier legal system, and you want to be treated the same way that JP Morgan got treated. So you're doing 85 and a 60, you get a ticket. Look, we want a deferred prosecutorial agreement. Nothing happens. I'll pay you $20 fine. But guess what happened as soon as they got that reprisal from the guilty verdict? They went right back out the next day and did it again because they weren't going to look at all of it for another 3 years.
Yeah.
See, all the markets right now are manipulated. Do you want to be in the markets have been manipulated up, or do you want to be in the 2 markets that are manipulated down that have thousands of years of history as money? Don't fall for it, folks. Geez, I don't care where you get the Eagles. I don't care if you get them from your next door neighbor or wherever else. You can kind of get them on eBay. But folks, you need to be taking this much more seriously. A tube of Eagles is not repositioning your assets in real money. When you start talking about taking the 100, 200, 300,000 that you saved all your life for and realizing that possession is 9/10 of the law and getting the taxes out of the way when the taxes are lower, what they're likely to be in the future, and you won't have to pay those taxes till April 15th of the year after you do this, you take personal delivery of it. I think that you might want to crunch the numbers and see how much you're going to be paying in fees in order to keep that 35% in a tax deferred status. The 65% will be after taxes. So how much are you actually paying for lack of control, lack of liquidity, increased counterparty risk in order to have somebody else hold your money so the 35% can grow up to 40, 45, or during Reagan's years, true, okay? The top marginal tax rate was 90%. It was. So if the rate right now is 35 and you get out of 35, I think you're going to have to pay taxes on it sooner or later. So
yeah. So
let be done with it.
Just a quick disclaimer. We can't give you financial advice, but we can tell you guys how some of the strategies work. Okay. We can share that with you. So, and we can share our personal experiences. So, I've done some of that on my own too, Ted, because I started seeing with my CPA, even though I can get a tax break on some parts of it right now, I expect to be paying more taxes later on and higher. And so when that's happening, it's a good idea, guys, to at least kind of consider it, you know, talk to your CPA about it. But if I can take something that isn't a stock that's subject to the stock market, I can take it and hold it personally, pay the taxes now, and then continue to hold it. There's some value in doing that, especially if we have a lot of the issues that we foresee coming, right? If we see banks going down, if we see the BRICS nation coming out with a gold back or a silver back or a currency commodity mix backed currency come out, you could see the dollar get hit pretty darn hard. If we get into hyperinflation, you're going to want to have hard assets. So all of those can affect.
What we're experiencing right now is something called a crack up boom. Okay. Yep. It's not this milkshakes theory or any of that kind of stuff. All right. This is an economic term, a real economic term developed by a real economist. Okay. It's called a crack up boom. And a crack up boom is when credit expansion leads to hyperinflation. People abandon the monetary system as a result. If a crack up boom occurs, people will seek alternative currency, money. People turn up alternative money, all because they don't want to hold the paper money with rapidly declining value. Now, that always happens in a war. And as I said, never hold the script of a warring government. Our government is at war. I'm not at war. You're not at war. We're sitting here watching this, right? Our government is the one at war. They're the one dropping bombs on people they don't even know for no reason that I can think of. They're not bothering us. They're halfway around the world. Leave well enough alone. Wasn't it that James Madison said, do not get involved in foreign entanglements? Come on, guys. We got to get rid of these old Hodgers, get them out of there, bring some new fresh blood back in there. Let's get Judy Shelton in there as the leader of the United States Treasury. She's sharp as all get out, folks. She is on our side. She's on sound money. She's a wizard. You will like her. Google her. She's pretty. She's smart. She speaks well. My gosh, she's got the whole package, and she's a patriot. Nothing can stop what is coming, folks. Nothing can stop what is coming. Check the website. It's there.
Okay, so Ted, I got a couple questions for you that are coming up that I want to hit, and then I want to tell people, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm feeling pretty generous today. Silver's gone up a bit. You guys you're probably feeling a little bit of
how are we doing on the thumbs up so far? We up to 200 yet?
We're up to 186. So here's the deal.
We need 11 more, guys. If you haven't hit it, come on.
I'm going to do a dime giveaway for getting up to 200. Okay.
Do I count? Can I do it?
You can do it. I will give a quarter away at 300. If you guys can get us up to 500, I'll give away one of these. And if you can get me up to 600, I'll give the other one away. That's today while we're still doing
I'll tell you what, go over and get one of my silver bars over there, would you? All right. I'm going to put some of Ted's money. Ted doesn't do this at all. I love silver. Somebody said, are you ever going to sell any of your silver? Oh, I don't think so. No, that's not going to happen. They're right on the table right there. Just bring one over, hon. Okay.
And just to throw it out there, guys, I'd rather give you guys free silver, which helps get the chance.
This is what we're looking at. I'll give away one of these. Is it the right side up or one side? Here, look at this.
Is that a 5 or a 10 ounce bar? It looks like a 5 ounce bar.
I don't know. What is this? What is this?
5 ounce bar.
Oh, it's 10 ounce.
Oh, that's a 10 ounce bar. Oh my goodness.
Okay. What do you get? Okay. You guys get us up to 1,000. Okay. 1,000 on this. And I will give this away and I'll send it from my post office. That's heavy, by the way.
All right, guys, you heard it. So if you can tell your friends about this, we're going to be on here for a little bit, but not super long.
Nope.
Let's see if we can get up to 1,000. There you go. 10 ounce bar, guys.
Okay. So this is the Dodd-Frank Act. This is what you need to be afraid of right now. Okay. The Dodd-Frank Act says that the derivative holders have a superior lien on your account. Okay, and that directly falls into what's called the fractional reserve banking rules and regulations. And what that is about is how the dollars are actually fractionalized beyond what it is that you think it is in order to be able to provide liquidity with the least amount of dollars. So let me explain this. So right now, the reserve liquidity requirement is 1.67%. That's how much the Federal Reserve requires that its member banks hold of its deposits. The rest of it, 98.33%, can be invested in the stock market. Oh, are they doing that? Wonder why the stock market's up so high. Why is it at all-time high right now? We have so many businesses that are falling and so many people out of work. People aren't working the full 40-hour weeks. People are hurting. Why is the stock market at all-time high? I'm telling you, it's all-time high. It's called the crack up boom that we talked about. Isn't that awful convenient? So the guys that are in the, oh, by the way, did you know that last week $30 billion was withdrawn from the London stock market? The smart money is getting out. Bill Gates got all his stuff out. There's actually a report on that. And many of the insiders are getting out right now. So what do they know that you don't know? You don't know what I know. If you knew what I know, you'd already gotten out and you'd been able to get your monsters. Okay. So type 1, type 2, junk silver, which is pre-65 dimes, quarters, half dollars. Beyond that, what I'd suggest are rounds. That's the pre-65. But you should try to become a little bit more of a student of history, and this wouldn't be so hard for you. History repeats. Okay. And again, as we said, yeah, as we had said, Sir Winston Churchill said, the further you look back in the rearview mirror, the more clearly you can see the future. This is what's happening. The dollars have been inflated away to oblivion. Everybody's in debt. Who's the debt owed to? Let me show you. Can we pull up the Bank for International Settlement? Who owns all the banks around the world? Okay. So if we go to the Bank for International Settlement, you see they own all the banks in the world. So when that company issues the currency, which they have been for hundreds and hundreds of years, and I have tables full of it, you might want to show a picture. Or actually, you have any other pictures of mother loads that we've taken out of Golden Eagle? That's always fun to take that. I get excited when I see all those green boxes.
I will share this picture real quick here.
That's Margaret Ann, and that's what's called the 1,000-ounce challenge. Okay, that bar is sit on the floor, and if you can pick it up with one hand, you can walk out the door with it. But nobody's been able to pick up a 1,000-ounce bar with one hand. So what I did, I took a friend of mine who is a state, or actually is a national champion for senior weightlifting. His name is Jim. Jim went down there and he tried to lift it up and he could not. So as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't do it. So here's Margaret Ann lifting up the bar, taking the 1,000-ounce challenge there, lifting up that bar. But that's the inside of Golden Eagle coin. If you want to know,
those are really heavy. Let me see if I have another picture for you real fast. I think we had one more on just monster boxes. Some of you guys were asking about monster boxes.
They're cool. They're very cool.
So here's another shot of a bunch of monster boxes.
That lady, she went out. She did all the research on her own. Her husband runs a business, and he didn't have time to look into it. So she looked into it and told him what she was thinking about doing. And he dissed it. So she decided she was on the right track. She went down there, got these things, and I think we got one total 1.6 million out of her accounts. She went to settlement, sold off her rental properties, and guess what's happened since the time that she sold off the rental properties? The property values went down. Property values are going down because the interest rates are going up. The interest rates are going up because the money's mispriced. The reason why you have such a divergence and such a problem in the housing market is because the money was screwed up. It was priced too cheaply. And why are things priced cheaply? Because they don't have much value, right? If the dollar actually had value, we'd have something going. Kyle Bass saw this about 10 years ago. You ought to do some research on Kyle Bass. He is one of the trustees of the University of Texas Austin campus, and he's in charge of their endowments. Lots of money in the endowment. So he was saying, okay, I was thinking I'd be about buying some U.S. treasuries. He said, but I got a question. What happens at the end of the term of the treasuries? And he said, and the host says, well, we simply issue some more treasuries. And Kyle Bass says, send me the gold bars. And what he did is he built a repository in Texas, and he holds those gold bars in the repository that's owned by University of Texas Austin campus. I can't wait to meet Kyle. He's a sharp guy. There's been all these kind of little clues here and there. Okay. that has helped me put this together, and then the classes and the textbooks, and then the other people that I'm in concert, in learning the classes with. It's a lot of information. You need to be able to assimilate it. So once I've assimilated it, I'm sharing it with you guys and making it very digestible and very easy. It's not that hard, folks. You don't have to make it that hard. Think of what's going on right now. Remember that story about the emperor's new clothes? Okay, the dollar bill in the Fed, okay, is washed up on the beach, and the waves are crashing over him. Guess what? Tide's going out. Guess what happens? You're going to see a completely nude, naked Fed. We have a friend that's deep inside the Federal Reserve Bank, and I've tried to get him on a couple of times. He and his wife are afraid that maybe there'll be some reprisals. So anyway, he said, Ted, you can tell him what I told you. Here is one of the directors inside the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. I said to him, why is there a problem with you guys not honoring the insurance regulations, the insurance liability it is that the member banks are paying you? He said, Ted, there's no money. I said, there's no money. He said, yeah. He said, we have something called a DIF account. It's called a deposit insurance fund. Take a couple of these little monikers here and write them down, acronyms, whatever you want to call them. Google it. Make sure that you know that I'm telling you the truth. Somebody else said, hey, Ted said my currency has a name of silver on it. Well, I hadn't mentioned that one. And guess what? They did look it up. And guess what the etymology of their country's currency was? Silver. Silver's a place to be, folks. I love it. You should love it. You can't live without it. You can't have a cell phone. You can't have electronics. You can't have a healthy body because silver is what's called an antimicrobial. It kills bacteria. So anyway, you can get me on a bandwagon and talk about silver for hours. I love silver. It's fine.
Real quick, I want to hit this one, Ted, here too. So, we've got a few people in the chat that love silver. We've got a few that have. There's a few people that have it in here, but are disappointed with the returns. Some people that
silver isn't meant to be a return. Silver's not meant to be a return. Silver is money. Okay, there is no counterparty risk with silver. What you do is you duck and hide. There's a part in the Bible that says if you know the trouble. Now, this one is about it goes like this: a wise man hears that there's trouble and seeks refuge. A fool stands to fight. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's sort of the gist of, the passage I'm talking about. I think it's in Psalms, okay, or Proverbs. It talks about how a wise man sees trouble coming and hides, and a fool stands and fights. Yes. So anyway, what I'm suggesting you do is get the gosh darn silver. It is the money of your country. I don't care whether it's maple leaves or kookaburras or, rands or whatever else, okay? You got to get the finite money. Right now, you've been convinced into giving up your real money and your real time and effort, which is energy. And energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So when you're holding that silver has energy in it. It had to be mined, had to be brought up, had to be ground, had to be separated, all the impurities brought out. Then it had to be extruded and sliced into planchets. And then the planchets need to go into a die machine and press those things out like this. And then 20 of them go in a tube and 25 go in a case. The case then gets packed. It gets wrapped up with a strapping that says what the name of the mint is on it. Bada bing, bada boom's out the door. What you want are the ones that never been opened. They're the ones that have. Because there's no problem. You know exactly what year it is. So we have a open monster box, and you'll see that there's years from 2008, 2007, 2010, all over the place. So pretty soon, you're not going to be able to get type 1 sealed. You'll have to get type 1 opened. Okay, and once they're gone, you want to concentrate on junk silver. The smaller the denomination, the better. After junk silver, I would suggest you look at maybe rounds or consider the type 2 American Silver Eagle. That's what's called a barber dime, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in really good shape. I got this from JT Coin sent this.
That was very nice of them. Oh, also, do not clean the patina off of that. No. You can put it in boiling water on top of aluminum foil and dump in some baking soda, and that'll take the oxidation off. But it's not corroding, okay? It's not corroding as a degradation of the metal. What this is oxidation, and what's happening is silver attracts oxygen molecules, which is one of the reasons it's an antimicrobial. So the reason why silver tarnishes is because it's attracting oxygen molecules. So a tarnished piece of silver, do you think it will weigh more and less on an atomic scale than silver that is not tarnished? What do you think, Garrett? It'll weigh a little bit more. Okay?
Oh yeah, it's added to. It's an additive. Right. You're adding material to it. Yep, for sure.
So it's tarnishing. Okay, but it is not degrading. Okay, What was that other word that you used? Falling apart or whatever, dissolving.
Oh,
Corroded. It's not corroded.
disintegrating.
Disintegrating. It's not doing that either. That's why they go on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean and they pulling up all this gold and all this silver. That was actually a lot of this is what's called Operation Fish, which is very, very interesting. It was a way that the Europeans actually, what happened was Hitler was marching all through Europe. And the first place he would hit is the central bank of Lithuania, all these other small countries. The first place he'd get is the gold. Once he got their gold, it fed his war machine and didn't provide any protection for them. So what happened? France saw what was happening. England saw what was happening. So we got to get this gold out of our country because they get the amount of gold we have. Hitler will have a fully functioning army with unlimited resources. So what they did was in the heat of the night, in the dark of the night, they packed up the gold bars and they put it in wooden boxes that they typically put codfish in. Okay, so the codfish was sent overseas in these wooden boxes packed with salt. So instead of putting the codfish in there, they put the gold bars in there, and it's called Operation Fish. Research it. Very interesting story. But basically, what happened? The Germans found out that they were shipping the metal across the Atlantic Ocean. Some of it would go to us, the United States, to pay for the armaments we were making for them, and that gold and that metal that went into Fort Knox, which is why it was built. The other metal was kept in a province of Canada, in Canada actually, which is a province and actually controlled over or by the Queen. So the England would send gold and silver up to Canada and gold to us to pay for making their airplanes because they couldn't make them over there because Hitler would bomb the factories as soon as they got it up and running. Okay, so that was the reason why all this gold started coming into the United States because we were not involved in World War II at the time, and we were making all the armaments, the guns, and the boats, and what do they call it? Not cannons, tanks, and all the jet. That's not my deal. So at any rate, I'm just explaining to you what happened and why.
No, but the history's good because the other thing we talked about on the last show too is every time you send over a cruise missile, each one has an entire monster box, guys, of silver in it. And that silver you're not finding again. It's vaporized. It goes to atomic level. I mean, it's gone.
Yeah, that's sad. Yeah.
So, that does happen. But so Ted, we kind of talked about that. Is there anything else we should be watching out for around the bank term funding program or anything around the CPI numbers that came out that we should be aware of?
First of all the data, all the metrics are lies. They come out with these numbers and the stock market goes up, it goes down. They go back and they restate it. But one of the metrics they restated by 30%. So that's just abominable. You're being lied to right and left. I think the better thing is, again, only trust God on the periodic table. Forget about the stocks. If whatever you can get out of it, get out of it. And as far as I'm concerned, if it were me, I'd get my money out of the tax deferred status, pay the taxes on it, take the hit. You know what you're dealing with. It's yours at that point. You not always be slaving to someone else or another person's program. Oh, you got to pay this fee if you want to keep it tax through. Oh, we didn't transfer it right. No, come on. The tail of the dog should not be wagging the dog. I think the dog should be wagging the tail. So if the dog is 65% of what it is you're going to receive, the tail is a 35% or whatever. Okay. So what do you think? Am I off base? Do you think you're wise to take the tax hit when the taxes are the lowest that they've been?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I did. Does that help?
Sure.
So, I started getting silver bars, 25-ounce silver bars for my birthday from my dad starting back in 2019. And it turns out these are vintage bars that are worth about $1,500 each. So they have a premium on them because someone thinks they're worth more. They have some history to them, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm keeping them because they've been in the family for decades. And it's just kind of a fun thing to have. And it's a small amount. I got 3 of them in a row. So 2019, 20, and 21. I told my dad and showed him how much these were worth. I never received another one of them. I started getting $100 check after that. Anyway,
you got allocated into the fiat pool, huh?
Yeah, I shot myself in the head on that one, guys. So be careful. If you're getting gifts, don't
turn back time.
Just nod, say thank you, and keep taking. Yeah. But when I got to 2021, I started seeing the writing on the wall with all the money had been printed, right? We just printed 1/3 of every, basically, we printed 10 of every $30 that have ever been printed in this country. So we basically almost doubled, the amount of money that was in the supply. I knew that was going to cause inflation. I knew gold was a hedge against inflation. So I
Mhm.
started looking at gold. I started looking at silver. I started looking at what I could do with things.
Mhm.
And I was kind of in a tight position with finances. I decided to take some of my 401k and not my 401k, my IRA. I took it out as a distribution. I did have to pay taxes on it,
Mhm.
but I was able to take that out, turn it into precious metals. And that is something that I'm holding on to. And some people are like, well, wait, silver hasn't gone up yet. We haven't hit 50. We haven't hit 100.
Yeah.
You
You
guys
got
were
to
going,
play the long game. Okay. The game
yeah,
isn't
it's
over
going
right
to
now. It
happen.
doesn't matter who the heck is winning in the football game until the game's finally over. But uh, you need to play the long game with this.
You do. It's a total long game. So one of the reasons I look at silver, and I'm stacking silver is one, I want to be able to use it as money. A dime is a pretty divisible way to use if I ever have to barter.
Again,
Uh,
14 dimes, 14 pre-65 dimes makes 1 troy ounce. Now, a dime, 14 dimes would be $1.40. So that would mean that $1.40, however you would make it up in quarters or half dollars or whatever else, you can figure out what the weight is in terms of troy ounces, which
yep.
is another very interesting thing. Our term of weight over here is called avoirdupois, okay, which is actually a French word meaning of the weight of wool. Okay, so we only measure precious metals in troy ounces. We measure everything else here, at least in the U.S., in avoirdupois, which comes from a French word. Okay. And so anything that's not precious metals is measured in 16 ounces per the pound.
Yep.
Now, in terms of the ounces in avoirdupois, you're looking at 28.8 grams per ounce, whereas in a troy ounce, you're looking at 31.1. I hope you take some notes on this, folks. 14 dimes, 1 ounce. Okay. And the other matrices we just discussed.
So for those of you that don't do a lot of math, you basically take the spot price, okay, divide that by 1.4, and then that'll give you the price of a diamond. Did I do that right?
Well, because you're going to have a premium because the spot is only the spot price. You can
Yeah,
only buy
that's gonna be the
the
spot
paper.
price.
You can only buy paper
It's gonna
silver
be
at
a
the
premium
spot
on
price.
top of that. Yeah.
Right. You'll pay a little bit more above that spot price if you want to buy 1,000-ounce bar. Okay. Um, and you'll pay, I guess the most that you're going to pay would be for an American Silver Eagle. As far as a non-numismatic. Numismatic means you're going to collect it because it was stamped pretty or whatever. Folks, we're not into that. Collect it, get it by the ton. Okay. That's how countries value their worth. You're talking about a decision you're going to be making here that might include an inheritance you received from your parents or something was passed from your grandparents. You're also talking about what you may leave to your children and grandchildren. If you leave them stacks of paper, if you watch that movie Titanic and they brought the safe out and opened it up, what happened to the paper? It turned into sludge. What was real? The diamond was real. Okay. And I don't know if they had any gold or silver coins in there, but they would be real too. That's why
I'm
our
sure they did.
companies that are going public, bringing up exploration machines to go down into the ocean and look for these ships that were sunk by the Germans, while the English and the British and the French were trying to get their gold out of the country. The German U-boats knew this, so they were blowing up the boats to make the silver sink to the bottom, so they couldn't pay us for what it is they needed to fight Hitler's war. Is all this making sense?
Yep.
So if it wasn't needed to fight the war, believe me, they just print the press, right? So they can't do that, and that's actually what they did. Actually, I take that back. They hyperinflated the German mark during the Weimar Republic, and there was so much of that they printed that they wound up burning it because it reverted back to their intrinsic value, which is the amount of heat or calories that a piece of paper can give off.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I was saying, these are the notes that were printed, okay, during the Weimar Republic. See this over here? See the unique identifier?
Yep.
Now, what happened was you can see the watermark in the back. See the watermark a little bit? Okay. See that there's a design on the back?
Yep.
But guess what? They ran out of ink. They were printing so much of it, they ran out. You can't be kidding? No, here's another one. Ran out of ink. Here's another one. They ran out of ink. And I have some other notes over there. Look like it was cut with a pair of scissors. You ought to see that's a $1 million Reich mark there. And it looks like somebody was in a hurry and they cut it with a pair of scissors. So let me show you. It's down at the bottom there. Okay. Anyway, we'll have to see if we can find that for the next show.
And then what I can do too is I can show the picture of just all the currency you had as we up on the table here real quick.
That is something I'd like to talk briefly about. Look, see every one of these currency units here. There was a banker at some point that conned people out of their silver in exchange for the notes here. Okay, but look how well worn these notes are. Can you focus in? Can you zoom in? Can you zoom in and just show them what are the notes blown up? Okay, because these are notes that I've been collecting now for about 11 years or so, and these are well worn. At some point in time, somebody had taken one of the. Oh, we're losing pixels now.
Yeah, the pixels not very good.
Anyway, what you can see is that these things were used so much that they have a different fold pattern. And if you take a look at some of these, they put them in their back pocket. You could tell that they used it to conduct daily trades. So again, we were talking to 7.8 billion people on the face of the planet. Here's one that's well worn. Okay. Here's one that's well worn here.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yep, that had a lot of love.
All right. Why don't you take over a minute? I want to show people this one that's been cut out with a pair of scissors. And this is actual million right mark. So hang on.
Okay. All right. So calculation correction on that. If you take the spot price, divide it by 1.4, and then you divide it by 10, you'll get the price per dime at melt. And then from there, you'll have your premium on top of that. So guys, we're close. We've got 246. If we can get up to 300, we'll do a quarter. If we can get up to 500, we'll do a 1 ounce bar, 600 to 1 ounce bar. And if we get up to 1,000, which is going to be pushing it, you guys are going to have to get busy introducing a lot of other people to this.
It helps everybody. We're all in the same boat. We're all being ripped off by the Bank for International Settlements. They've all issued a paper script. Okay. This is a sample of some of the stuff. See how they cut this on the bottom? Look, see that on the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
But see the unique identifier over here? Okay. Yep. So there is unique identifiers on the money. Again, what did I tell you they did with the back of it? They ran out of ink. They were creating this stuff to beat the band. Okay.
Yeah. So Ted, someone brought up a point here. They said crypto doesn't require ink.
That's right.
It must be superior, right? Because it doesn't.
There is no trace of any intrinsic value in a crypto, nor is there any unique identifier in crypto. Nor is it physical. You can put it in your hand. If it's crypto, let's call it crypto. But gosh sakes, don't call it Bitcoin. It's not a coin at all, is it? No, it's an aberration. It's like a tulip bulb that somebody's going to take a bite out of. Oh, that isn't real. Folks, there's plenty of time to play. Okay. Yeah. This is an historic point in time in our lives, in the history. You're never going to get this chance again. There's only going to be one reset. There's only going to be one reset in terms of all the debt and the Sarah, Jacera, and all that stuff's happening. We can't. That's the only way that we're going to come out of this. The debt is untenable. Besides, who is the debt payable to? The Bank for International Settlements. Who owns the BIS? The 13 wealthy families. So if you stop making debt payments to them, what happens to their ability to stay alive? It goes away, right? Yeah. If we take all the assets that they were able to take, they're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant alchemists. They take something that is nothing and make something with it. So they take nothing, okay? They make you borrow nothing to buy something. And then when they screw around with the economics and the metrics, and they screw around the money system, a lot of you wind up going bankrupt, can't afford it because policies are changed. You can't do this, can't do that. You got to do this. Makes it so unprofitable that the companies can't stay in business anymore. So what happens is people wind up losing what it is that they have. And guess who gets it? The banks. That's how they get wealthy. We got to take what it is not theirs. The bottom line is, folks, the money that we're using, the currency, the fiat currency we use in the United States is not constitutional. Because that I showed you before, in here, the Constitution.
Article 1, I think that's always a good reminder.
Yep. Article 1, Section 10. Okay, right in here.
And so for the crypto fans in here too, guys,
is gold and silver. Okay.
There's no mention of crypto in the Constitution.
No, or in the Bible. Yeah. Suppose Judas didn't have a smartphone. How would he get paid in crypto? I don't know.
But I do want to point one thing out, Ted. Someone did here.
So smart.
Just to kind of throw this out. Software has value, guys. Crypto is value. There is some value there. Okay.
But the only value to software is for somebody that needs it. Okay.
Yes.
The value to silver is everybody, because everybody's going to need it every day to conduct trade. Okay. All this fake stuff is going away. We're going to go back to real money. And with 7.8 billion people on the planet and 2.5 transactions per day, you can calculate how many ounces of silver is going to be needed for that. And now what you'll need to do is, well, we don't have enough ounces to go around. Fine. We just got to increase the price of it. Maybe like what they're doing with Bitcoin, fractionalizing Bitcoin. But again, if I'm going to spend $64,000, $68,000, or even $2,000 for a bit anything, I'm going to want to know, I want a receipt for it that shows me what it is that I bought. I want a title. I want a lien. I want something that says I own it. And you guys buying this stuff, you don't have any idea what you own. You don't know how many they actually make. Trust me, when they make 1 million, okay, then fine. Just put it on paper. I own the 999th coin or whatever it is and what percentage it is. Where's the hassle? What's the problem? Come clean. Be transparent. If you're running one of these crypto exchanges, tell the people which one they own. If you're going to tell them that it's only a finite number of 1,000 or 1,000,000 Bitcoin, tell the people which one of those Bitcoins or which one of those cryptocurrencies they own. Isn't that fair? I mean, if you're going to buy a car, wouldn't you have a VIN number on a car? If you're going to go out and get a dollar bill, you know what? There's a unique identifier even on a dollar bill. So I don't know why you're not treating people right. That bothers me. But I wish you would find somebody for me to debate because I would love it. But they're going to have to go more than one round in the octagon with Ted. I bet they're going to be taken out in less than 3 minutes.
Well, but I'll just address the software part of it, guys. There is some value. My company sells software, okay? And there's value
to those people that need it, right? There's a set market that you have.
Stuff, right? It does that. Once you get beyond the use of software and you start taking software and putting assigned value to it, to me, it becomes a tulip craze. Now, can you make money doing this? Yes, people are making money going up, but only a few of them are making it going down. A lot of them are losing the money on the way down. So the reason I'm vocal about the crypto, and I dabble in a little bit of it, so I will put that disclaimer out for fun with some friends, and it's not very much money. It's not even 0.1% of my investable portfolio, not even 0.1%, way less than that of my net worth. I play around with some of it. But what I want to let you guys know, the reason I'm vocal about it is a lot of people are hearing about it. A lot of people are believing that they're going to be able to get rich very quickly from it. And a lot of people are feeling the need for money. And when that happens, you start to run into problems. Crypto can be very complex for people. And when I see people just pushing it and pushing it, it turns me off to it. Now, you may say, hey, right now you guys are pushing silver. We're not pushing silver. What we're pushing is self-sovereignty.
Pushing logic. We're not pushing anything. We're pushing logic.
Decide whether to buy silver or not with it. If you
buy gold,
you can buy gold.
It comes out of the ground 7-1, and it's priced at 88-1. I mean, why not buy it at 7-1? Now, if they're priced at 88-1, buy the one. Okay, buy the 88, and then as those ratios come more in line with what the mining ratio is, minus what is needed in order to keep our country and humanity running in terms of that we need for silver. Okay. You're winding up with a real silver to gold ratio somewhere on 2.8-1. So I was listening to Keith Neumeyer speak a little bit. He was talking about, let's forget about the industrial demand off the 7-to-1 ratio. The bottom line right now is if gold is at 2,100 and the ratio is 7-to-1, silver should be easy $300 an ounce. So what's wrong with that? You buy Eagles and you take it back the next day and you give you $300 an ounce for it. Guess how much you're going to be paying in any way to taxes? Zero, because it's like taking the coin in and getting change. So there is no taxes as long as you are using American Eagles, both gold and silver, and up to 1,000 face and junk. Now, some of you called in and writing in and wanted to know the source of that. What I'd suggest you do is go back to the coin dealer and ask them, because they're the ones that are going to be the ultimate arbiter on this. They're the ones going to either follow the paperwork or not. But ask them why they don't have to follow the paperwork and where it is in the statute, and they'll tell you. I'm right. I know I'm right. I'm glad you're listening.
So, Ted, one of the things I want to ask you real quick is, where do you see things going in the next little while to, say, the end of the year, and then maybe even 2030? What do you see happening with silver? Do you see it starting to move slowly? Do you see it starting to accelerate that move? Do you see that ratio starting to come back down so that it's not 88? It starts going down to 50 and then down to 30 potentially, and then even lower?
There's a book out by Malcolm Gladwell, and it's called, oh, geez, I'll get it for you. Basically, it tells a story. We're searching for it right now. There's a book out by Malcolm Gladwell, and it talks about basically, do you remember the Hush Puppy Shoe Company, the Hush Puppy Shoes a long time ago? They had the crate soles that were really easy to walk in and everything. Well, they sort of ran their course, and they were starting to go out of business, and they were starting to lay off people at the factory. A group of people in California, what happened was they started wearing them, and people thought that they were really cool. Okay, so this craze started, and from being a company ready to go out of business, consider that the silver industry right now, silver market, and it turned around in a matter of months. So can happen overnight. Look what happened to me. I had never done a podcast before in my life until March 1st. You guys got the video. I was told I had a radio voice. I'm a radio face. But at any rate, look how this is blossoming. We've had over 150,000 views of these videos we put out, these podcasts, or broadcasts, we're going to call them, since March 1st. Today is what, the 12th. So we're talking about in 11 days, we have 150,000 people. They're clamoring for this. The likes are there. The comments are there. Thousands of people are saying, where was this information before? Why don't we know this? The name of the book by Malcolm Gladwell is called The Tipping Point.
Oh, yes, The Tipping Point. Yep.
Yes. I read that when I was on vacation on the island. And it tells a story about the hush puppy shoes. And then it also tells some other stories in there. But the bottom line is it's like this. We're right on the cusp of this thing. And when it blows, you won't be able to get silver. It'll be completely off the table. When the public realizes that silver is money, and what they've been feeding and what they've been using is tulip bulbs for the last 150 years, there's going to be a snap back to reality, the likes of which we haven't seen. And then people are going to become a lot more reverent about the money that they're spending. They won't be dumping money on Chachi's stuff and things that has no value to it whatsoever. When you're holding the silver, it's real money. There's a connection there. And you're going to think twice before you spend that. I think these irrational expenditures and buying these tummy flab muscle things that make you lose 30. I've tried them. It doesn't work. I guess you got to go surfing like you.
It didn't have enough silver in it. That was the problem.
There we go. So, so we're talking about what's good with silver and gold and Bitcoin. Bottom line, gold is good, folks, but it's overpriced right now relative to silver. What I suggest you do is, while the metric is currently 88-1, go out and load up on the silver. As that metric comes in line with 7-1, swap the silver back for gold, and you'll wind up with 80, almost 70 times more silver than more gold than what you had. Does that make sense?
It does. I looked for a bunch of charts. We'll have to find a better one for another live stream, Ted. But there are some better. Most of the charts all end at like 2020. I need to find one that goes to the gold to silver ratio right now. We may have to make one. But when you guys look at it, we're at a pretty high point. It hasn't been much higher than this in history. Okay, we're at a pretty high point. I still have gold. I have gold as wealth insurance. And a lot of my gold is pre-33. It's also history. So they're coins that I plan on passing to my kids. However, what I'm starting to do this year is stack up a lot more on the silver because of that ratio. It just makes a lot more sense. So that's something that we're definitely looking at.
Beautiful.
All right.
Okay, I'm trying to do some math here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say we're pretty close to getting to that 300, but we need a little bit of help there, guys.
Okay, so currently, folks, the ratio of silver to gold is 86.6. So what I'm saying is it'll take 86.6 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold on the paper exchange. Okay, and we got that by taking the current price of silver, which is $25.24, divide that into the price of gold, which is $21.86 currently, and that's what gives you the 86. Okay, so when this normalizes and it goes to 7-1, okay, the real mining ratio, because all the shenanigans are over, and the shenanigans are over because the bad guy's been taken out. Maybe we'll stop this DPA stuff, deferred prosecutorial agreement. Who ever heard of that stuff? Get found guilty, but no penalty. You got to pay a fine, but no jail time. We want the guys that are messing with our silver and with these ratios. We want them to go to jail or worse or better. How do you feel? That's interesting. Should this be something that somebody pays a capital crime for stealing from you all your life? Are you happy?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think the people will eventually do that. So real quick, Ted, I think we've got just a couple minutes left here. But what I want to do is, I got a personal message from one of my mods that we're passing up too many of the questions, and people are really wanting to hear from Ted and get some questions answered.
Well,
So
give me a couple of them.
what I'm going to tell you guys is the feed's just going up and down like this. I can't even keep up with it. When I try to click on something, a lot of times it brings up the wrong thing. So
What do you
if
mean,
you've got a question for Ted right now, go ahead and put it right back in there. Okay. So no smart Alex stuff right now. We're not going to have time for that. But anything that you have a real valid question for, go ahead and put it in. We're going to try to address a few of those if we can. Okay. Let me see.
Are we having fun yet?
Oh, I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
Always having fun. I love what I do. I mean,
I was
don't
just
have to
hoping we would hit 1,000, thumbs up. Maybe it's more of a Sunday
You
afternoon.
You will. This is valuable
I was
information.
hoping we could give out the 10-ounce bar, guys. I thought that would be cool. We will do the golf for the dime here.
Give up my 10-ounce bar would be cool for you, huh?
Yeah, maybe I could win that. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay.
Eagles are off the table, though. I'm not giving away any Eagles or dimes or quarters. Nah, What do we got?
Okay, let me pull them up real quick here.
Some of the questions I'm getting is, do you really think it's wise to pay the taxes now, take constructive receipt of the money, turn it into Eagles, and sleep on it? I think you'll feel a lot better after it's all over. You won't have to be paying the fees in order to keep it tax deferred. I think 60%, 65% of something is better than 35% or 100% of nothing. When do you think the crash will happen? Wow, goodness. If I knew that, I'd probably be a bad guy and I'd probably be in handcuffs taken out of here right now. But I will tell you that Friday is the Ides of March. And I'm telling you that the loan ability for the banks to issue loans has been stopped. That's what the Bank Term Funding Program ending was all about. Now they pulled a fast one on me because I thought we'd start seeing more of this action on Tuesday, but they didn't end it until close of business on the 11th. So that threw me off. Why are metals rising over the last week? Stocks are up also. It's called the crack up boom. Okay. So what's happening with regards to
say Ted. I think Ted's getting the truth out there.
Yeah.
Are you the crack?
The metals are rising because there's a lack of supply. So if you have demand on one side and supply on another, okay, and the demand curve is on the inside here, I mean, supply and time, okay, will tell you what the demand is. So we need to find out what is the actual demand for the metal. Now, as the supply draws down and demand scoops up, what's going to happen is the prices got to go up, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw just a comment from someone here. So first off, I'm not going to tell you to go take all your stuff out, guys. You got to make that determination on your own.
I know how to answer this question. Okay. Can I still contribute my company match of $4,000 a year to the 401k? So I guess you're under 59 and a half and you're still actively working there. What you would need to do is take a look at the plan documents to see what kind of withdrawal provisions are there. Sometimes they allow for a hardship withdrawal. Sometimes they allow for a withdrawal of a certain percentage. Depends upon your age as well. But you need to read the plan document to determine the answer to that question. And the question, can everybody see that question there? Can I still contribute to a company match of $4,000 a year to 401k? But that's the answer. You got to get the plan document from the 401k administrator. But be friendly to that person because they can either slam the door or open it for you to get your money out.
All right, here's another one. So Central Michigan keeps asking. This is one that they were asked about. So you guys.
Okay. All right. I can read this. Let's get into this. Okay.
Right
if
now,
all markets are being manipulated and Bitcoin is a market and Bitcoin is going up while gold and silver is way off its all-time highs, whereas Bitcoin is at its all-time high, tell me what you think you should do. You want to hold something that's real, that's been money for thousands of years? I think you should sell at the top, take the losses, take the gains and put it into real money and get out of the game. See, when you move money, when you move your digits, when you move your funds into silver, you're not investing anymore. You're taking it off the table. What you're doing is you're saying, that's it, I'm out. It's like you're walking out of the casino, you cashed in your chips, say, fine, I'm going to stand outside for a little bit and get a hot dog and see what happens. All right. And then once you get the money and you're outside the casino, you can say, oh, this one looks nice. Oh, there's the pink flamingo over there. Oh, there's Wynn's place over here. You can decide wherever you go. But if you walk out of that casino with their chips, can you go into another casino? No, you're not holding the money. Folks, what you need to do is exactly what they're doing. What they first do is divorce you from your money, which is you're not even seeing it, are you? It's automatically being taken out of your paycheck. And a lot of what you guys are investing in are what are called REITs, real estate investment trusts. So when you're driving around and you're seeing all this vacant office space and vacant retail space, that's somebody's retirement that's not being funded. So when you see all this and you wonder, well, how are they still making distributions? They're making capital distributions. They're making distributions of the income being made off renting the office buildings. And don't think that these office buildings all are going to be converted into condos, because the wiring and the plumbing is completely different for an office building as opposed to a house. Okay, you have more toilets, you have more plumbing, electricity, all that. So don't think that, oh, we're going to convert this office building into a condo. No, it doesn't work that way. No, and don't buy into that either. I know what's going on. I'm trying to tell you what's going on. If I really told you what's going on, some of you might have to freak out. But I would get ready to see some real action in the market by Friday. Friday, March 15th, the odds of March. I might be wrong, might be right. I don't know. I don't know the date. I know what's going on, how it's going on, where it should be, but I don't know what date you have to mess us with this. But I would say that if the warm-up band is still playing and the concert door is still open, sneak in there before the door shuts, because when it does shut, it's going to get welded shut. You're out.
And I think that's the case.
So too.
Yeah. So to Central Michigan, no, it's not. Not to me. So to kind of finish with Central Michigan Stacker, it does sound like he has gold and silver, and he has Bitcoin.
Good.
Fine. You guys know Bitcoin is outperforming right now because it's being pumped. They're trying to suck up as much money as they can into Bitcoin.
Well, what they want to do, and what they are doing, is they're taking the demand away from physical gold and physical silver. Where would physical gold and physical silver be right now if there wasn't crypto to help bleed off some of the demand? It was very, very brilliant. These guys are really diabolical to come up with this stuff.
That leads to this question here.
Do I think the Fed and deep state players are trying to kill the banks to usher in a CBDC? I don't think they'll be able to debate having full public support. But what do you think? I think that the plan is to kill the dollar and keep the banks alive for another day. If they kill the banks, what's going to happen is the rioting will absolutely bust up the real estate. If you kill the dollar, they can come back with another name for a currency. I think that's the way they're going to do, and that's what Kyle Bass thinks as well. And I got to tell you, I think First Majestic is really situated well. They're a fully integrated mining, exploration, and converting company. And if they could start providing planchets around the globe, wow, that would be fabulous. But the thing is, where are you going to find the mother loads? LODES loads. It's not LODS. Anyway, there's a lot of information that I think we need to get up to speed on, and you should be following these podcasts as you are now, because the truth has not been told to you, folks. There are many, many industries that are simply going to vanish overnight when this reset occurs, because many businesses are all about slicing and dicing and figuring out how to get more and more out of less and less. You can't do that with immutable wealth. You're dealing with silver on the periodic table. It can't be watered down. They can water down the money supply, the currency supply, but they can't water down silver when it's in your hand at 99.9% pure as far as the equals are concerned, or 90% pure as far as constitutional silver. Get the money, be happy, and count the days and get ready. His suggestion the banks will fail in March. No. I'm not saying they're going to fail. No, I'm not saying that it's going to fail. I'm saying there's going to be trouble. Okay. Whether or not that results in a failure, it may very well be. I mean, I'm ready for it to happen. These banks have been ripping off people right and left. These usury laws, none of it is constitutional. None of it. Actually, the full government was funded off of excise taxes, which is new stuff coming in that's then distributed out the country for sale. And that's why the customs houses were such nice, beautiful places. It was held inside the custom houses. And what they did was they tacked an excise tax on it. Okay. So that we didn't have to pay income taxes. Income taxes, I think, are used for a lot of bad things. You know, adrenochrome, child, all that kind of bad stuff I don't want to get into. But
let's not go into all that. But the last thing I think we'll take, and then we're going to run here on the dime real quick. So you guys, if anything, look, I'm diverse.
One of the guys in our group, interrupt. One of the guys in our group had Bitcoin, and he sold it, and he went out and he bought himself 2 monster boxes and some junk. He bought himself 1,000 American Silver Eagles Type 1 sealed and junk. I would rather have that than Bitcoin. What about you? If you'd rather have the Bitcoin, I think it's greedy. And you're going to get taught a lesson. If you're still in the stock market, it's all-time high, you're greedy and you're going to get taught a lesson, and it's going to be a terrible lesson for you to learn. You should be learning this from an Austrian trained economist, not from a Keynesian economist. That time has come and gone. We're going back to hard money. You should be planning for that. This is the time of a lifetime. If you miss this boat, it ain't coming back.
So we've talked about what could potentially be happening here, when it could be happening, what we believe will be happening. We also talked about ways to short up. So if, you know, a lot of you guys on here, well, I shouldn't say a lot of guys in the chat are do crypto, right? Have crypto. So the thing I would ask you guys is, if you're 100% convinced that crypto's the new money and it's not going to go anywhere, then stay in it. If you think there's a probability,
no, if you're that confident, debate me.
Then you could debate him. So Ted wants to debate you. But if
I have people that will pay. My team will pay and they'll bet. And you can get a derivative and synthetic derivative out of this. My people want to see Ted in the octagon with somebody brave enough to stand up to him in an octagon for even one round. Okay.
No. All right, there you go. So Ted wants to beat you. But what I'll throw out there, guys, is there's cycles that happen, right? So the stock market goes up, it goes down.
We're in a Condriatic wave right now. You're absolutely right.
All those things happen, right? Crypto goes up, it goes down. I mean, we would not be seeing the same comments if we were sitting at $15,000 Bitcoin a year and a half ago again. Okay, we'd be seeing opposite kind of comments, or the guys just wouldn't come into the chat. There'll be a time when silver and gold is going to be priced in US dollars a lot higher than it is today, and it will be a higher percentage. It'll be more of a bull market that you'll see, and I think we could be starting to see signs of that happening. And so you'll see cycles. So if you're an investor, you look for cycles. If you're if you're a trader, you look for the cycles and you play the cycles. If you're an investor, you look for sound things that you can hold on to that are going to have that real value. And for me, gold and silver is that. A lot of people look at real estate. A lot of people will also look at, okay, what do we have on here?
This is what's called the Condriatic wave. Okay. All right. This will pretty much tell you, I'm trying to do this opposite here. Let's go this way. Okay. All right. This will tell you where we are. Look in real time on this thing. You're going to see that we're the downside of the slope right now. The Condriatic wave, you can read about it, but it was a Russian guy that came up with this, and it has been working very well throughout history, much like what we talked about Exter's pyramid. The Condriatic wave tells you where we are in the economic cycle that goes on throughout history, okay, in our economy.
So I want to show that real fast. And you guys, we're going to do, I'm going to show you something as I talk here. So we're going to do the drawing for the dime. We're 10 away from a quarter. If you guys can get it before we end, we'll do another drawing for that. Here's what I want to do. We're going to do a quick deal. I've got a piece of paper here, and it's going to be the first person to get this number. Okay.
386.
What'd you say?
I was guessing 386.
I got to throw that away now. Just kidding.
Oh, man, this is fun. You're
okay,
a good guy.
Just real quick. So it's going to be between 1 and 500. You have to wait until I hit start. Okay. Wait until I hit start. It's going to go off what's on my screen. And just a second here. So you got to wait until I hit start. You get one guess. If you hit it on the net on the head, what the answer is, then you will get it, or you got to be the closest person to it. Okay. So it's going to be between 1 and 500. And here we go with start. Okay. Now, while I'm showing that, Ted, what I wanted to do is bring up Exter's pyramid again real quick, just to have you reiterate that, because I think that's...
Folks, you guys are getting an economics course that you don't even know that you're getting. You're learning stuff that is not taught at the elementary or even the undergraduate level, okay? So let's pull up Exter's pyramid, and you'll see just how screwed up this whole thing is and how it's teetering, okay, on a very, very small fulcrum here, all right? And the whole thing is upside down. So what we want to do is, there we go. And you pulled up the right one, okay? So what I'm looking at here, okay, is the total silver market is 0.024 trillion, which is $24 billion a year. That's it. See how thinly traded this is? Okay. This is the sleeper. This is where you want to be. You don't want to be in Bitcoin or anything right now. You want to be right here. Okay. And then the gold market is 6.4 trillion. It's multiples of the silver market. Now, on top of the gold and silver, which underpins everything above it, okay, because all these are derivatives of the actual money, which is gold and silver, as it says in our Constitution, right? So you got the base money, bank money, government bonds, corporate municipal bonds, non-monetary commodities, and derivatives. And what I'm telling you is that derivatives are now in the quadrillions. Quadrillions.
That's insane.
So money, this energy that they've created is not going to disappear. So the value of all that stuff that's been created is going to be condensed and melted down into the silver and the gold. It'll be gold for international purposes and big transactions. It'll be silver for the people. But keep in mind, there's 7.8 billion people on the planet. If everybody needs 2.5 ounces per day in order to conduct daily trade to buy food, energy, car ride, or whatever else, okay, that's a lot of units of silver per day that are going to be needed. Okay, where's it going to come from? And what I think is going to happen is going to come from the Treasury reaching back out to those of us that are holding the American silver monster boxes to get them back to the Treasury so they can go back out to the different financial institutions that are going to be handling the issuance of the new currency. Because it's one thing to say the currency is backed, it's another thing to have it redeemable. So they have to have it redeemable. And the only way to get those eagles back, pardon me, is to offer a great rate to us. And then I'll take a couple in as a needed. And then what will happen is those funds will get wired to the LCS, the local coin dealer. Pardon me. Pardon me. Too much talking. I think my voice is shut. Anyway, you get the idea.
So real quick, I'm going to say stop. We're stopping right here, guys, on that number. We'll come back to it. We're 3 away from 300. If you want to hurry and hit it, we can. One last question, Ted, for you. Where's Bitcoin on this pyramid?
I'm sorry?
Where's Bitcoin on this pyramid?
Oh, it's not.
Oh, wait a second.
Actually, no. Excuse me. So it is. It's up in the derivatives. Okay.
It's up here. Okay. You the derivatives. Okay.
Sorry. Okay. So Bitcoin is up there. But see how wieldy this whole pyramid is? See how simple breath of wind, air or something. All it would take is a little bit for it to fall over. And when it does, all the derivatives of the silver, of the money, being the gold and silver, will melt down in value into the gold and silver. And that's where you're going to have explosive growth. And it's going to happen so fast. Gold is starting to inch up right now. You're going to see silver leapfrog over top of it, and you're going to wish that you had gotten in. But you know what? My conscience is going to be clear, because it says in the Bible, if you know trouble is about to beset your friend, you don't tell them, then their blood is on your hands. But if you tell them they don't do anything, then their blood's on their hands. So right now, you decide what you want to do. I would suggest that you get physical. Only trust God in the periodic table until we come out and say it's okay to bring your head up out of the from the rocks or whatever.
So one other good question I think that came up here too. What are your thoughts here?
I agree with it. Absolutely. We are moving away from a fiat standard because one company controls all the issuance of it, the BIS. How fair is that? And 13 families get together and they decide what the interest rate policy is going to be for 7.8 billion people. Folks, it's time we stand up and end this nonsense. Okay. So we are the people. We are the ones that are important. The citizens of the countries are the ones that should be leading the countries, not a group of self-elected politicians who are in charge and very close to the keyboard creating the currency. We got to get rid of that power. We got to go back to God's money. We got to go back to finite money. And we got to get rid of the criminals and crooks that we thought were working for us that really aren't. And that's what we're finding out. Trump's flushing them all out. So anyway, thank you very much. We're up to 400 thumbs up so far. And how many people are watching right now?
400 is the number. We hit 300. We'll do one more.
Okay.
So here's what we're going to do on this. I'm going through the list right here. I've got 333. I've got 383.
Where are we up to right now? I got an idea. I'll let another cat out of the bag.
We're at 301.
301 are the thumbs up.
Yep, I've got a 399. So we're going to see if we get someone right at 400.
Okay. All right.
So
I'm going to tell you a term here, folks, that you should write down. And when it's time to take another look at your estate plan, consider using this term inside your document. Okay. It's called an in terrorem clause. IN is the first word. Second word is terrorem, TERROREM. And basically what it means is if anyone chooses to challenge the terms of your estate plan, they're automatically disinherited. So this it's called a poison, is referred to as a poison pill. So the bottom line is that whatever you want to go where is going to go where. And if anybody objects to that, they're out of the picture altogether. So it keeps everybody nice and happy. But to be an estate planner for 27 years with literally thousands of people and not one problem, it's because we did it right. We had the attorneys and the CPAs and the financial people all working together on the same team. You didn't go one place for an attorney, another place for a CPA, another place for tax work or investment work or whatever. And these guys don't talk to each other. You need a plan. You need people to talk to one another. And I think you all are a lot more fortunate what you think, because the knowledge that I have allows us to pull it all together. It pulls together the tax aspects, the legal aspects, the financial aspects, the insurance aspects. I know about all that stuff, but you got to have gas in the tank. And I'm telling you, your gas is just fumes right now if you don't have it in something physical, like physical silver in your own possession. Get it now. You're seeing the type ones are wrapped that are gone. The type ones are just about gone. Look around.
Here's what I'll say: if you don't have any silver, I would really consider looking into it. And if you've got,
you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah, if you've got gold and silver now, then right now, if you're looking at the ratio, it's making more sense to buy more silver than gold. If you've got,
I'll let you know when it's not. Jared, you have me back on here.
Okay.
I'll make a deal with you. Okay.
All right.
I study this stuff every day. When this happens, we're going to have less than a 20-hour window to do this one-to-one swap. Okay. But the swap is only going to be for sealed monster boxes for sealed monster boxes, meaning that a sealed type 1 or sealed type 2 American Silver Eagle monster box needs to be exchanged for a sealed American Gold Eagle monster box when it goes one-to-one. No additional money out of pocket.
That would be insane, I must say. That would be, I need to see this day. It would be great.
You're only going to see it once, and you're not going to see it for more than about 20 hours is what I'm
okay, so Jacqueline Pickett, you're the winner of the dime. I've got it right here.
My mom spelled her in the same way, the name that Jacqueline spells her name.
You're going to get this nice dime right here. It's nice, and it looks really nice. It's like
Jacqueline.
Proof-looking dime.
My mom's name was Jacqueline. She made all of us, as soon as we could learn how to talk, spell her first name.
So just send me an email, stackingsurfer@gmail.com. Send me your mailing address so I can get that off to you. All right, we're going to do one more. This is for the quarter, and we'll get this started, Ted. So you guys, it's going to be a number range. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to tell you to start. It's the same rules. You're the first person to hit it or the closest person to get to that number. And you got to look for my start and stops. All right, here we go. So this is going to be between 1 and 500. I've got the number right here. I'm putting it on my desk, not touching it. Ted, you were bringing up something else. Was there something else you were thinking of around the number of likes?
Yes, I was thinking about something else. If you can get this up to, right now. I'm sorry?
We're at 320 right now.
Okay. I have to ask my partner over here, what do you think we should offer to them? Oh, I was going to offer the, you know what would be more important than that? Do you think money is more important than information and knowledge, or vice versa? What do you think?
Personally, I think knowledge is money. So,
okay. So I gave you the little thing, the in terrorem clause. That'll save you tens of thousands of dollars in years and unwanted and unnecessary conflict in your estate plan. In terrorem clause. Okay. Attorneys don't want to put it in there. Why do you think the attorneys don't want to put it in there? Because it stops them being able to bill your estate after you're dead in order to decide and handle the battles that one kid went more or less than another or something, whatever. But as long as you have the in terrorem clause inside the trust-based estate plan, and it was proven or convinced that the attorney knew that you were not mentally compromised at the time you set up the document, then it's completely bulletproof. That's why we have 100% satisfaction. We don't have problems. I don't create problems. I solve problems. I'm trying to solve yours. I hope you pay attention, because it's difficult to get the message out. And I'm being suppressed. People have other YouTube channels. They don't want the truth out. They want to continue the scheme as far as selling you stocks that don't exist and other investments that don't exist. What I'm saying, own stuff that does exist. That's the money of our country. Be proud of your country. Whether you're in Canada or Australia or Norway or Sweden, Japan, be proud of the country that you're in. Support it. Work hard for it, and save in their country's money, not the money of the BIS.
All right, guys, I'm going to give you one more minute, or not 1 more minute, 2 more seconds. Sorry.
Anybody have any final questions before we go? Everything all handled here? We all good to go for another 3 days or 4 days or whatever until we catch up again with you?
I think we're good here. So
okay,
we're just going to do this last quarter here, 388.
Perfect.
And I've got this 1960s quarter right here. Okay, when I was just showing you guys. So let's look at it real fast here. Let's see who got closest to 388 mods. If you can help me double check, would be great. I got a 385 right off the bat, which is pretty close. We'll see if that gets taken out. All right, we got a
949 Designs. I like your little logo that you got up there. That was pretty cute. And Steve, cool, you got some kind of a crocodile or alligator there, Steve Lapointe.
Steve, you got it right on the head. So stackingsurfer@gmail.com. We'll send you out this quarter. Oh, by the way, you guys will get some stickers with it too. I've got I don't know, everybody likes these stickers. So I've got these fun stickers right here. One of you will get number 32, one of you will get 33.
That's very nice. Folks, if you got something out of the program here, please do what you can to support Jared. He's nice enough to come on and give me his platform, let me use his platform. And this was all set up with like 3 hours notice, and he got everything done, and Margaret Ann got everything done on her end. I just wanted to reach out to you because there's an old saying in one of the fraternities I belong to. It says, take due notice and govern yourself accordingly. Take due notice and govern yourself accordingly. I'm a highly trained economist, highly decorated estate planner, certified financial planner. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think every element of caution should be preparing for you for what may happen on the Ides of March. If it doesn't happen Friday, it may happen to Monday, or I don't know the exact date, but it'd rather be a year and a half, 2 years, 11 years too early than 1 second too late.
I agree, guys. So look, I mean, I'm sacrificing my time doing this. You know, I've got my day job. I sell software. I had to rearrange schedule a little bit to redo this. But you know, the deal is I could be wrong, but I feel very, very strongly that we're going to have issues in this country monetarily, that we're going to be going back to the need of needing.
We have them now. We have them now. I mean, gas is like, I went out and bought diesel the other day, $4 a gallon. It was 99 cents a gallon. We bought our first RV. I mean, has diesel fuel become worth a lot more, or has the currency we're using to buy it become worth less?
And this stuff doesn't just keep up with inflation. I've seen it do better than inflation. I know a lot of you guys, it depends on when you buy it. There's some factors in there a little bit, but
170 years of price manipulation is going to make silver get screaming out of the bottle that's holding the genie. Because it's been manipulated down for so long, and we know it's been manipulated down by taking a look at the U.S. debt clock and seeing that there are 323 paper ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of physical that exists. It's that criminal. So when I'm telling you I've done the math and it's $217,000 per ounce, that's a criminality, the number of dollars that have been created against a finite source of money as defined in our Constitution, being silver. Take due notice and govern yourself accordingly, people.
Last thing I'll say,
into reality, redeem the certificates, redeem the dollars for what they're intended to be redeemed for, which is money, which is silver and gold. Silver's the better buy. I'll let you know when it's time to buy the gold. But please give a thumbs up one last time to Jared. He's done a great job, pulled us all together. I think he provides a very nice platform, and I didn't get bridled. So thanks for letting me run with the wind here a little bit.
I love it. So everyone, I want to thank you for coming out. And until next time, peace out.